lack of skills is a major concern across many African economies. A survey by PwC released at the World Economic Forum indicates that despite CEOs taking a wait-and-see approach on managing machine learning and artificial intelligence, more than three-quarters of them want government to incentivize the retraining of workers. While in Cape Town, CGTN's Ramah Nyang explored the business opportunities presented by teaching a broad range of coding skills. He did this with the CEO of Moringa School.
In terms of the level of skills, so I think, an example I usually give is when we talk about data science. Right, so in the West, there are many companies that actually have big data, and the ironic part is that a lot of people are talking about data science locally, but really what they're looking for are data engineers, data analysts, right? So people who can just take a relatively small to medium data set and make sense of it. And so instead of kind of jumping straight to big data, talking about AI, machine learning, et cetera, I think we have to be realistic on what are the actual needs of employers, right? And spending time with employers to understand, what do you need to actually, move your business forward. And so with everything we design at Moringa School, it starts with the employers instead of thinking about all this hype on, we should launch a AI course or IoT course if there isn't demand for it. And so for us, it's really about where are the jobs and how do we build the skills for those jobs, but how do we also encourage the local government and also public sector to invest more in job creation.
The financial guys, the financial sector guys, banks in particular, insurance, probably somewhere in the mix as well, they've been pretty much at the forefront of trying to make sense of the massive amounts of data they have. Mm-hmm. But when they come to you and they say, Audrey, I need data engineers to actually figure out how to score credit better, or how to properly appraise individuals or businesses when they come to me and ask for a credit facility, do they really understand what they're looking for? Or are they just shooting in the dark and saying, well, I have this information, I don't know what to do with it?
We launched a big skills gap report with Mercy Corps to really look at the IT and skills needs in Kenya and also in Uganda. And what we found is that actually a lot of employers will put out a job description, even big banks or telecoms, et cetera, they'll put out a certain job description asking for certain levels of skills. And it's either one, unrealistic, that you can't find that in the local market, or you need to invest in someone more junior to build it up, or two, a lot of times they weren't sure what they're looking for. And so a lot of our work at Moringa School is to make sure that when we interface with employers, we're actually supporting them to help them understand what kind of teams should you be building out as you're trying to scale.
Do you run into this barrier where employers are like, yeah, but this person must have a degree in X and Y and Z, and yet for a lot of the skills that we're talking about, learning how to code, for example, in Python, I mean, these are things that if you have a decent internet connection and the time, you can learn on your own. It doesn't necessarily have to come through an accredited facility. Do you still run into barriers of that sort, where there's a sort of culture clash, if I may call it that, between what employers are expecting and what the market is like at the moment?
Absolutely, yeah. That happens in Kenya, happens in Rwanda, and in other markets that we're expanding into. And so I think the thing that we also need to do is manage perception and expectation setting. And so when we actually talk to employers, again, it's saying, here's realistically, in a 5-month full-time intensive program, what you can expect young people to come out with. Right, but the training and the development doesn't end there. And so when our alumni actually work for employers, we do a lot of work to make sure that they can also continue to upskill themselves. Because if they don't have those opportunities, then they'll stay at a junior level. And what we know from the skill space is that employers actually need more senior and mid-level talent, right? But that talent starts somewhere. And so just really resetting expectations with employers so they understand, you can't expect a senior level developer in 5-6 months, right? In no world is that possible, whether you're in the US or you're in Kenya. And so just really helping them understand, this is what you should expect, and this is how you should buffer yourself so you have the right type of mix of talent between senior and junior.
What's your transition rate like for the students who go through your coding school?
So currently, 85% of our graduates move into full-time jobs after Moringa School. And so the way that we do that is part of our program has a very practical element to it, where employers like I&M Bank, other employers will come in and actually give them projects during the program. And so by the time they graduate, these employers already see, oh wow, you can actually do what you say you do, and a lot of them pipeline into jobs that way.